All right. Shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off by saying Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Barak Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad. Akim and Akwat that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson is edifying. It's the brother Schwab Mamawan back at you with another lesson and going into the title, all right, Truce Breaker, all right, peace deal fails. All right, and as we know, I'm a little late on the subject. It happened like 2 days ago. All right, but as we all know, all right, there was a ceasefire, all right, that was thrown up, all right, a little peace deal, all right, where there wasn't supposed to be an attack for about 2 weeks, okay, and there was supposed to be, open passage, for the Strait of Hormuz, all right, and I believe within not even less than 24 hours, all right, Israel pretty much broke that ceasefire and went and made, attacks on Lebanon, okay, and then, you had these devils basically say they didn't know that they were on the contract with it, basically, on the peace deal, all right, and that just goes to show this devil, all right, is nothing but, just an enigma. He's just a problem that has to be taken out the way, all right, because as the scriptures say, they drink the wine of violence, okay. That's what he's known to do. He's known to take peace from the earth, okay. As a matter of fact, let's start off with that. All right, this is Revelations. I'm gonna try to make this one quick, not too long. All right, this is Revelation 6:4, and it says, and there went out another horse that was red, and that red represents Edom, Esau. All right, Edom is red. When you go break down that word, it says, and the power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. All right, so whenever peace is brought out, all right, peace is spoken, all right, he will always be there, all right, to demolish that. Okay, tells you that in Second Ezra's, Salakia, Ecclesiasticus. I'm trying to get to this. Ecclesiasticus 12 and 16. And it says, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but he imagined how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. All right. And this is, first and foremost for our people, trust not your enemy ever, any of your enemies. All right. But hey, this just goes right now for worldwide. You can't trust this devil because this is the enemy. All right. This is the devil that the Bible speaks of. All right. You have three classifications of men. You have the sons of Yahweh, which is the sons of righteousness. You have the son of the wicked, which is Esau, Edom, the whole nation of Esau. All right. And then you have the sons of men, which is these people in between all these other nations, you see. But he is, all right, the son of perdition. He is the sons of wickedness, man, the son of the wicked, right? So you can never trust this damn devil, because if he finds opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood, as the scriptures say, right? If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find them there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee, you see? And eventually he'll do what? Change his countenance. He'll come crouching like a, as the scriptures say, he humbled himself. He go crouching, right? But you have to beware of him because, he is complete rust, you see? So here it is. He threw up a peace deal, and in less than 24 hours, right, they went and they made an attack, all right? And that just goes to show the power that these small hatters have, all right, over America at the end of the day, right? So let me play this video real quick, couple videos, and then I'm gonna grab some more scriptures and close out, all right? As a matter of fact, let me finish Revelations 6:4 real quick, all right? So going back, it said, and it was given, and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, okay? And that they should kill one another and there was given unto him a great sword. You see, so there can never be peace when this devil's blessing is the sword. All right, by nature, by that it's written in their DNA, man, to literally just be all right tyrants everywhere they go. Killers, murderers. You see, that's what these devils are truly about. All right. So he was given that great sword to do what? To kill, to take peace from the earth. All right. And the scriptures tell you in First Thessalonians 5:3, and when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. Right. And it's crazy because I did a video the day before, hours before, and then within hours after, that's when they went and made that move. And I was saying in the video, we just gotta watch this devil, right, and see what he does next. All right, let's see if he, actually holds his word on this peace deal, and then within 24 hours, less than 24 hours, he makes a move. Okay, so that's just the spirit. That's the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, working on planet Earth, man. You see, the Lord said that the third woe cometh quickly. You see, so there will never be. There's not gonna be peace. Then you had this devil talk about how he was going to wipe out a whole entire civilization, right? He was going to wipe out these Iranians. That wasn't going to happen. We knew that wasn't going to happen. Why? Because the scriptures say that the Carmenians shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians, man. And that's talking about here in America. So they're not going to be wiped out without wasting out a portion, all right, of America. You see, this is why you got to know, all right, prophecy. This is why you got to know truth to be stable in those days, all right? Most people will fall for that. Oh my God, what's going to happen? I definitely knew none of that shit was going to happen. You see, because we understand prophecy, right? And if it's not of the will of the Lord, all right, then hey man, you ain't got to worry about that. Not saying you ain't got to worry about it, period, but that's not on the agenda of the Lord's. You see, but World War III is. You see. The Carmenians and these Gulf states coming together to waste a portion of the Assyrians is, you see, Ezekiel 38 is, you see, Revelation 17 and 16 is. So when we see these things come to pass, we get excited. Ain't nobody was getting excited that these devils was going to go wipe out Iran and make it, make it work. Nah, man, we knew exactly that he was just lying as he always does, man. This devil, his tongue frameth deceit, man. The wicked, is estranged from the womb. As soon as they be born, they speak lies. He is the father of it. So he gonna feed you a lie every single time. You see? Shalom, sis. Right? So he gonna feed you that lie every single time. Okay? So let's grab real quick Revelations 14 and Salakia 11. I don't know why I said 14. Revelations 11 and 14. That's why I said 14. It says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe come quickly. You see, the third terror. All right, this third woe means world wars. You see, so the third world war is going to come quickly. So that already signifies that it's definitely going to come. All right, and there's going to be no stopping this World War III. As much as people don't want to fight World War III, all right, it's going to happen because the Lord said this is going to be the war of all wars, man. Okay, the war of Armageddon, a mountain of troops. You see, the war to end all wars, basically. You see, and a lot of people are trying to, find ways to block that out of their minds. All right, but prophecy is going to continue to be undefeated as it constantly has been. All right, over the years. You see, so this devil, all right, is never going to bring peace. All right, scriptures say they shall seek peace and they shall not find it. All right, they shall seek death and not find it. Okay, these things are said for reasons, man, because the Lord said that judgment is coming. The Lord said there will be no peace. Okay, and that's how you know that those people out there in our land, right, that claim to be our people, right, the Lord's chosen people, that's how you know they're not the Lord's chosen people. Because if they were, there will be no war there, man. But they've been in war for who the hell knows how long. All right. When you go into the history of America, the history of Israel, man, they always been waging war on somebody somewhere, you see, and it has never ended. Okay. When one war ends, all right, another war is brought up, and it don't have to be a world war. There's been so many little wars in between, you see. So when one war dies off, all right, another one brews right up, all right, because the Lord said he will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So they're always going to be in the process of war. Okay. So the third woe cometh quickly. Right. Now let's grab this video. Right. It says Israel breaks the ceasefire, ignores European leaders, and launches an unprecedented attack. Right. This is what happened like 2 days ago. Hold on. I'm getting it.
Iran was clear that a ceasefire was conditional on it being applied across the region. Pakistan explicitly said that it had to include Lebanon. Israel subsequently said that it did not include Lebanon. And the defense minister said just a short while ago that they will continue attacking what they call Hezbollah's military infrastructure across Lebanon. Just a short while ago, European leaders and Canada put out a statement saying that the ceasefire should be upheld and that it should include Lebanon. Now, in October 2024, just before the last ceasefire, Israel launched an unprecedented attack of great intensity just before the ceasefire came in. So we're waiting, of course, to find out if Israel will continue with its military operations and its invasion in Lebanon, as it has said it will, or if there will be sufficient international pressure to bring this to a pause.
All right, that was the end of it. This is another video. Got three more videos, all concerning this war, right? This is another one. 1 second. This one says Benjamin Netanyahu, right, rejects President Trump's ceasefire and says the war will continue against Iran at any time he chooses. You see, it says Netanyahu says he will achieve his objectives through further military action under his command. We are ready to resume the fighting at any moment. Our finger is on the trigger. All right. And on top of that, they're ready for ground war. You see, so this war is not going to stop no time soon because prophecy is playing out. You see, the Lord is stirring up the minds, all right, of those that are weak, all right, and now they are becoming stronger and stronger by every moment, okay? And then with the allies being guards onto them, you see, they become even ballsier, they become even stronger, okay? And there's something about war that it's got a certain addiction. You see that when people, once people's mindset, all right, real warriors, all right, not America's warriors. America's warriors is some fruity pebble ass Kellogg's, Fruit Loops, man. All right, but we talking about these other nations that are prepared for war. Okay, it's something about war that once they get their mind ready for it, that is just gonna increase the rage of war, man. And they're just gonna want more war, more war. All right. You could tell the whole world is fed up with America. Nobody wants to cease fire no more. You see, if anything, they're conspiring against America, finding ways to come against America and, you know, pretty much, you know, out the picture. Okay. Which eventually the allies, you see all the allies starting to move away from America. Spain just backed off of America. Okay. You got, as a matter of fact, you got America talking shit to NATO. Telling them they ain't shit if they don't come and defend us. You see, things like that. See, that's how you know that the Lord has bugged out, has, you know, hit Trump with blindness and astonishment of the heart and madness. He's just talking crazy, man. Talking shit out his ass. Talking very prideful, like if he doesn't need nobody's help. You see? And that's a crazy thing to do in these last days, man. Especially with everybody being fed up with America, you see? So let's hear what this guy got to say.
And Israel is stronger than ever. This is the bottom line of this campaign up until now. Let me say, there are still additional objectives for us to achieve, and we will achieve them, either by agreement or by resumption of the fighting.
And they're going to achieve them because the banking families are down with them, are ruling them, you see? See, Israel's the one that's ruling pretty much everything right now, right? Ruling America, but who's ruling Israel? These banking families, these elites, all right, because they go back to being part of that lineage, you see? And then because they have, remember, all wars are bankers' wars, all right? They have control over the war, period, okay? Because they're the ones funding everything on every side, man. Not just, you know, Israel, not just America's being funded. All these nations around the world is being funded, man, okay? This whole society is about what? Money. It's about being rich and getting more rich, you know, and being able to control this territory and that territory. If I could control the natural resources of this place and that place, and, you know, I rule. Okay. So, all right, there's always, you know, another plan being, you know, conjured up, all right, to continue the lifestyle of war. Okay. And Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, as it tells you in Exodus 15:3, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is a man of war, man. All right. So that precept alone already lets you know, all right, that the Lord, okay, is he always going to have war somewhere going down. Okay. Let's see what it says here. So the brother said, live, I sent you.
We
just sent me something real quick. Let me see what we got. Oh, just 2 minutes ago. Oh, it's the message is unavailable, brother. It must have been deleted or by its owner or hidden by the privacy settings. I might not be, he might have privacy settings on and I can't see it. You know what I'm saying? I see that you just sent me something though. You know, something is live. If you whatever's live, just, you know, put it in the private. Hang on. All right. If I can't get on it, just, you know, just text me what it is, what's going on with the live. Not my live, but, you know, whatever's going on that's live right now. All right. So let me go back to this Satan Yahoo, right? Finish what he was saying.
We are ready to resume the fighting at any moment. Our finger is on the trigger. As you know, 2 weeks ceasefire has been announced between the U.S. and Iran. No, we were not surprised in the last moment, and I want to emphasize.
And see, the fact that he said his finger's on the trigger is already at the end anyway. His finger is on the trigger. It just shows you that he got an itchy ass. You see, he can't help himself but to scratch. You see, he can't help himself but to do, you know, what his normal nature is. As the scriptures say, right? What is that? Jeremiah. This is Ethiopian. Change the spots. Hold on. Change his skin. Forgot what that precept is. I know how to quote it, but I want to get the precept right. Jeremiah 13:23 says, "Can the Ethiopian change his skin or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil." You see, so this devil is accustomed to do evil. He cannot help himself, okay, of doing what he does. As a matter of fact, the scriptures tell you if he do it willingly, right? If he does righteously, right? If he does righteously, he do it unwillingly, KJV. That's in Sirach 14:5, right? It says if he does, let me grab it up one. All right. This is yeah, let's grab it for 4. It says, he that gathereth by defrauding his own soul gathereth for others, that shall spend his goods riotously. Right? It says, he that is evil to himself, to whom will he do good? You see? So who he gonna do good to? Right? Who he gonna do good to if he evil to himself? You see? It says, he shall not take pleasure in his goods. There is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness. If he does good, he does it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. You see? And that's what you see right there, man. All right? He wanted to come with a certain type of agreement. He wanted to come with a certain type of righteousness, right? But he did it unwillingly, meaning that he really didn't want to do that. Okay. And at the last, his devil horns are always going to show. You see, his true countenance is always going to show. He's going to always change his countenance. You see, as it tells you when I believe I read that earlier. If not, that might have been in the last lesson. All right. But going into Ecclesiasticus, the 12th chapter, right? Let me just grab it real quick. All right. Ecclesiasticus, the 12th chapter says what? All right. It says, if adversity come upon thee, yeah, I was reading that earlier. Thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. He will shake his head, clap his hands, whisper much, and change his countenance. You see? Eventually, he gonna change back to who he normally is, the wicked. He gonna do the whole hokey pokey and everything for you. You see? Clap his hands, turn around. You see? And then after that, when he do that full turnaround, you're gonna see what he normally is, who he is, for who he always been. All right, the devil that the Bible speaks of. Okay, so that's why we've always said never trust thine enemy. Right? Look what he did to Gad. Right? When you read Psalms the 55th chapter, man. All right, his words were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Right? His words were smoother than oil. Right? But yet he had swords drawn. Okay. So that's how he is with all people, man. And that's damn sure how he always going to be with you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. You cannot trust this devil for not one bit. Not even a second, not even a millisecond, man. Because he is known to be the what? The root of wickedness, the border of wickedness. Okay. So his true nature will always come to the light. Right. Let me see what the brother got. Might have sent it to me. Make sure he didn't. I got 2 more videos after that. Right? Let me see if he sent me something. Yeah, he sent me another one. This is yeah, you got Russia army. All right, the Russian army is getting prepared. You see, this is what I mean. You can't stop war, man. This is a Russian army getting prepared. Okay. This is Ezekiel 38 coming to pass, man. Okay. The Lord has, revived that Soviet Union spirit. Okay. And as the scriptures tell you in, Joel, the 3rd chapter, right? Wake up the mighty men of war. This is why you see war being waged throughout the whole entire globe. This is why you see everybody standing up, as the scriptures say in Matthew 24, right? Nation shall rise up against nation, kingdom against kingdom. You see, this is the nations being revived again, into that world war spirit. It ain't just a spirit of war. Let's just go fight, bomb one place, and that's it. No, this is the war of all wars. All right. So the Lord is reviving each and one of these ancient spirits of war, okay, back into remembrance, back into their lots to destroy this place. Okay. So let me grab this other video. All right. This is
just got very big news about the situation with Iran, with this whole war. This is serious. You need to listen. Yesterday, a verified source reached out to my team. They are in the U.S. military, verified, and what they're saying is that the U.S. is preparing for boots on the ground. The media is lying, saying that there is a ceasefire, that we're working towards peace, but the actual actions of the U.S. military are different. The source confirmed that the U.S. Navy is sending amphibious assault vehicles over to Iran with naval forces, with Marines, and with a ton of equipment, vehicles, ammo. If this is all coming into play here, we need to be prepared, because everyone is thinking that things are ramping down when really they're ramping up.
Yeah, and I like that he said that. And that's true, because see, here in America, they're painting a certain picture that they're winning the war, that things are getting better, you know, that they're solving the problem, when in all reality, everything is just ramping up more and more. Everything is increasing. Okay. See, you leave it up to America, they'll lie to you on the news, on the social platforms, all of that. But when you go into like RT News, Russian Today, right? You go to these other news apps, right, from across the globe, man, all you hear is about how they're pissed off and ready to go to war with America. You see? So even the cat said, yeah. You see? So, and it's crazy because cats can sense evil, man. All right. So they right now the cat already knows what's up. You see? That's the spirit. But man, listen, man, it's not gonna turn down. It's gonna continue to turn up. Okay. And we all said this, right? You know, brother's been saying this for a while now. Hold on, let me pause real quick. Give me 1 second. Let me put this damn cat in the room, because he'll sit here and just. Slocky about that. All right. So, where was I at? Yeah, everything is going to continue to turn up. And hey, man, I've been saying that after the Passover is going to get turned up even more. All right. Because every time the Lord drops a holy day, man, it's just something about after the holy days, it turns it up a notch. The furnace of adversity gets turned up even more. The fire gets turned up even higher. You see? And with it also getting turned up even higher, it's also going to get turned up even faster. So things are going to come in motion even faster. You see? And this is how we know that the MOTB, the RFID, all right, to be made mandatory is right around the corner, because this place is ready for war, man. Okay? The whole globe is ready for war and ready to just take America out. You see? So let's hear what he finished saying, right?
There's so many major all come into play here. We need to be prepared, because everyone is thinking that things are ramping down when really they're ramping up. I hope this is not true, but if this is, there's so many major countries involved, whether they're backing Iran, whether they're backing the U.S. or Israel, that this is not good. The tensions.
And there ain't nobody backing. See, you might still have, you know, what's these damn devils? You still might have Britain, you know, dealing with America. You got a couple little, you know, countries still dealing, but barely holding on. You know, they're in a thin line between love and hate. You know what I'm saying? So even though they're there right now for the moment, through prophecy, they're not going to be there later, because the Lord going to put the spirit on them to turn away from America. You see, to let loose from them. Because it's prophecy that the beast shall hate the war. NATO, EU, all right, the allies are going to conspire against America, pertaining to Obadiah 1 and 7, you see? And all of them are going to, you know, position themselves round about America, you see, to end up destroying it. Okay?
And this is sitting on a tinderbox for World War III. So I hope this does not come true, but stay prepared, and we're going to keep you updated.
And that just reminds me of, that shit reminds me of like it's like a scab, right? When you get hurt, right? America's getting hurt right now, right? And then things, kind of slow down for a second, right? And then you heal up when you got a boo-boo, okay? You get a little hurt and it heals up a little bit. Then you get the scab, but then you start picking the scab and then it reopens. That's how America is, man. That's why the scriptures say we would have healed Babylon, right? But she is not healed, okay? It's like a big ass scab that just keeps getting reopened. Every time Babylon kind of finds a way to, wiggle out of some shit, here comes again. That scab gets open and they get hurt again. You see? And again, this comes from the elites. So there's nothing you can do about it because the ones that are pulling the strings behind closed doors, all right, are the ones in total control right now. And the one that's totally in control of all things is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. Okay? As the scriptures say, all right, the heart of man, right? Let's grab that real quick. Which that was the end of that anyway. This is the king's heart, all right? What is that? Proverbs 21. Proverbs 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the hearts, you see? So the Lord was guiding everybody where they need to be, okay? The scriptures say, what's the other one? It's on the tip of my tongue too. Man, isn't it? Lord willing to come back to me, right? So, he's the one that's, turning up all these different nations, all right, to, engage more in war, to engage in a certain manner to piss each other off, you see? Let's grab this last video, right? This is
everyone
breaking huge U.S. troop buildup in the Middle East. 50,000 troops across the Middle East, thousands of Marines are being rapidly transferred. All right. And I'm telling you, none of these people coming back, man. None of these people going to make it in the war. They might survive out there a couple days. All right. Couple weeks, months, whatever. But when the war finally breaks out into all hell breaking loose, all right, they're not coming back. Okay. That's why the scriptures tell you that the virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The daughters shall cry, mourn, having no helpers. You see, they're not coming back. Why? Because in the war shall their husbands perish of famine. You see, all these people getting ready to start drafting, knocking on doors, making phone calls to your phone. You're gonna start getting all types of letters sent to your phone without you fucking realizing. Next thing you know, you wake up tomorrow morning, it is a whole letter sent to your damn phone through a text message, through a military text, telling you to report to the nearest base, man. Okay? Or receive jail time. All right? And a lot of these people, because if Esau says jump, they're going to ask basically how high you want me to jump. So they're just going to get up and go because they're going to fear jail time. You see, these people are not ready mentally to prepare themselves for something like that. Okay? So these people going to try to find a way. And even if they don't stand up for the country, all right, and they get put in jail, they're going to get tortured in jail, man. Because Esau is going to try to make you bow down. If you end up in jail, it's to make you bow down to a system. You see? He's going to try to reteach you, reprogram you into his liking, to his way, to his image. All right. So it's a bad scenario for you either way. You go to war, you don't come back. You don't go to war, you get locked up. But hey, You're going to end up getting tortured up in there. You're going to end up taking the MOTB and you're still going to be destroyed. You see? So it's a lose-lose for these people. See, but with Yahweh Shai, it's a win-win. The Lord said the victory, all right, the victory's already been given onto us. You see, we just got to let this thing play out. We just got to endure to the end. We just have to have patience, suffer, all right? Through much tribulation, you shall enter into the kingdom, all right? So we just got to stay fast. We just got to stay rooted and grounded in this truth, in this faith, all right? And by the time we know it, man, it's lights out in this place because everything is moving so fast, all right? So this last one, it says, let me play that from the beginning slot here. In fact, slot, let me open this up for you. And something I've been meditating on, you know how scriptures talk about how the grinding shall cease out here, no more jobs. Something I was thinking about, you know why there ain't gonna be no more jobs? Because most of these people gonna be in fucking war, man. It's gonna be no time for work out here. They want everybody to start being drafted to this war, you see? So what happens is people get snatched up, workers is going to the draft. Owners that own their own businesses going to be drafted. You see, a lot of people are going to be drafted for this war, man. You talk about world war, so they need a world war, a world amount of people. Okay, America's going to be a quiet ass place when a lot of these people get drafted. With a lot of these people being drafted, it's easier to gain control of the rest of the people that are here, you see? Because obviously you're not going to be able to get every single person to war, but a good majority is going to go to war, man, you see? So that's going to make this place quiet. It's going to make it with less people, easier to gain control. You know, pretty much whoever's left and is not in war is going to be the ones that are going to be getting the MOTB, you know, lining up in these places. While these people are out there in the midst of war, okay, this thing is being made mandatory here in America, okay? And they don't want people to work. They want you to, you know, be on universal basic income, the social credit score system, right? And by you being on UBI, all right, that they want you to stay at home without work. Machines could do the job for you. Robots could do the job for you. You see? So America gonna be a quiet ass place, man. All right. And then in the process of that, you're gonna have people, you know, already dying from starvation, you know, people getting, you know, taken out by the sword because of, you know, the lack of bread, because of the of tribulation. You see? So it's gonna be loud for a second when all hell breaks loose, all right? But when people are getting unalive, man, this is going to be a quiet ass place. You see? And then we're going to be as pilgrims upon the earth off grid. That's why the scripture said we're going to desire to see another person. You see? Because you ain't going to see people for a while, man. People to find humans, to find people is going to be like, it's like fucking seeing a unicorn. You know? This is like, wow, damn, I found somebody, you know? So, man, listen, man, this is the times that we're in, okay? And this is why you can't trust your enemy, man. There's no such thing as peace. All right, let me see. Let me grab this. This is a lot of scriptures that go into peace. I want the right one though. I'm pretty much close it out anyway because I hit the point. All right, but let me just grab these last few scriptures. This is probably the worst word you could put in there, peace, because it comes up about 400 times. Well, let me grab Jeremiah. That one, I definitely know that one. All right. This is Jeremiah 30:4. And it reads, 5. It says, "For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace." You see? Let me grab this one. They shall seek, let me see, no peace. Right? I believe that's how the scripture goes. They shall seek peace and there is no peace. Ezekiel 13:16. "To wit, the prophets of Israel, which prophesy concerning Jerusalem, and which see visions of peace for her, and there is no peace." You see, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So you got false prophets out here telling you that we're not going to go through these things, telling you that we're going to sing kumbaya together, hold hands. All right. That's nonsense. You know, you have false prophets like Martin Luther King having dreams about bringing peace together and having peace amongst people, black and white together. That shit never came to pass, right? Why? Because that's a false narrative, man. All right. So you got people that seek and desire peace, all right, when there is no peace. Remember, there's a season for everything under the heaven, man. All right. And right now we're in the time of war and the time of hate. We're not in the time of love and in the time of peace. Okay. We damn sure ain't in the time of no peace treaties. All right. Because the ones that rule the world, all right, are the wicked that beareth rule. So the world is going to mourn. And with mourning comes no peace. All right. This is. So like the last couple ones, right? This is let me just read this one. I read this one earlier. I'll read it again. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." You see? That's a scary thing to hear, man. And they shall not escape. You see? No one gonna be able to escape the judgment of the Lord. Okay? This place ain't gonna be in total chaos, all right? And you're gonna be over there trying to find a way to establish this peace, all right, when this place is in total chaos, man. The only peace you have is this comfort, this truth, this knowledge, Yahweh Shai, which is the Prince of Peace, you see? And even us, you know, Lord willing, if we're of that number, we have to go through much tribulation to get to that peace, to get to that rest, you see? So there's no peace out here, man. Let's grab this. This is, oh, that's what I wanted to get earlier. I forgot to grab that. This is Romans 1. All right, going into the title, Truce Breaker, right? When you go into these last, from 28 down, right, to 32, okay, these things that are being said are of our people also, right? But when you really go down to it, the nitty-gritty of it, this is all characteristics of Esau, because when you go into Romans, the first chapter, right, it's speaking about Esau in a lot of parts, especially where it says, who changed the truth in the verse 25, who changed the truth of Yahweh into a lie and worshiped and served the creature more than the creator. All right. Who was the one that did that? Esau. All right. So Esau is being spoken of, how he changed the glory of Yahweh, all right, into an image made onto corruptible man, right? Turned into idols, you know, turned into, you know, worshiping the creature more than the creator, right? So this is talking about Esau, even when it goes down to the part where it's talking about how men, you know, sleeping with men, women sleeping with women, you know, all of them doing vile things, you know. It's being mentioned of our people following after Esau, but Esau is the one that pushes that narrative, man. So, you know, a lot of what's being said here, all right, pertains to Esau. So let's read this. It says Romans 1:28, and even as they did not like to retain Yahweh in their knowledge, and it tells you that in Psalms, the 10th chapter, that Yahweh was not in his thoughts. You see, they don't care about the Lord, man. They pretty much come at you with the mentality of the Lord has forgotten our iniquities, man. The Lord has forgotten what we're about. He has turned his face away from us. And the Lord ain't forgetting not one bit. See, the Lord just letting you accumulate these things. As the scriptures say, you know, the sins have reached onto the heavens. So the Lord is allowing you to accumulate these things, man. So when he come to destroy you, there's no and, ifs, and buts about it, right? It says, and even as they did not like to retain Yahweh in their knowledge, Yahweh gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. Yeah, and that's what happened. The Lord, since Cain, he gave him a reprobate mind. He even gave that snake in the garden that reprobate mind to do things that were not convenient. To do things that are not convenient is to do things not pertaining to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. Right? It says, being filled with all unrighteousness, Esau, fornication, Esau, wickedness, Esau, covetousness, Esau, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whispers. That's all characteristics of Esau. Backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things. These are all Esau, man. Disobedient to parents, without understanding, this is the point, covenant breakers, you see? Meaning they what? They break their promises, man. So whenever you see a deal of peace being shot at you by Esau, you know that the follow-up behind that has to be something wicked. Without natural affection and placeable, unmerciful. Yeah, they're unmerciful toward people, period, right? Who knowing the judgment of Yahweh, yeah, they would know the judgment of the Lord, right? The serpent knew the difference between good and evil when he fed the philosophies onto Eve, onto Adam, you see? I mean, well, onto Eve, and then Eve gave it to Adam, right? So he knew what he was doing, you see? So him knowing the judgment of Yahweh, right? That they which commit such things are worthy of death, he still went and did it anyway, you see? And says, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them, you see? And he has pleasure in hell, right? In death. Scriptures say that his desire is hell. His desire is death, you see? And he cannot be satisfied with blood, right? So he gonna always do what he do best, man, okay? Break a promise, covenant breakers, murderer, right? Not only the same, but have pleasure in them that do them, you see? And they encourage it. That's the crazy part. They'll encourage it to the rest of the world. See, that's why that when you go into the Greeks, right? Into the Maccabees, right? What happened when Alexander the Great died, right? Power was given onto his 4 sons, right? And when his 4 sons put the crowns on their heads, what did they do? They multiplied evil upon the earth, right? And then they went from the Greco, all right? They went from the Greeks into the Romans. And we're still in that Roman time, but, you know, the revival of the ancient Roman times, you see? So from that time to now, evil has increased completely off the charts, man, and continually increasing more and more. You see, that's why their sins have reached onto the heavens. That's why they have to be taken out of the way, man. All right. So, yeah, that's pretty much the point, man. All right. These devils are not to be trusted when it comes to deals. All right. And hey, they're gonna have more deals for you in the future. Salakia, in the future. You know, they're gonna promise you peace with this MOTB. They're gonna promise you a win, joining their military. Yeah, if we all come together in America, we'll definitely conquer the war of the world. You know, we got the greatest weapons of mass destruction, you know. But that's the pride of this devil, that he continually keeps thinking that, as the scriptures say, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, man. But they're about to be blotted out. They're about to be cut off, all right, forever and ever. And all we can do is just be patient and wait. So I'm going to leave it there through the Spirit, Lord willing, you will edify. So with that being said, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bachak Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad. The Akim and the Akwat that was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing, that the lesson was edifying. To the next one, Shalom. Keep fighting the good fight of faith and doing as good soldiers of Yahweh Shai. As always, you sisters continue to learn in silence, throwing up them prayers. A Bible ball soon.